Voiceover. Narrator. 0 to 30 seconds. A man jumps from an airplane, thousands of feet in the air, into the middle of a dark and stormy night. He holds a bag filled with $200,000. Then, he simply disappears. For over 50 years, one question has remained. What happened to D.B. Cooper? Topic: the hijacking. Function. Description. Our story begins on a normal flight in 1971. A man in a business suit, using the name Dan Cooper, sat quietly in his seat. He ordered a drink and then handed the flight attendant a note. Topic: the demand. Function. Explanation. The note explained his plan. He wanted a large amount of money and 4 parachutes. To show he was serious, he calmly showed the flight attendant a glimpse of wires inside his briefcase. The crew followed his instructions perfectly to keep everyone on board safe. Topic: the exchange. Function. Consequence. The plane landed in Seattle. The other passengers were let go, completely unaware of the drama that had unfolded. In exchange, the man received the money and parachutes. The plane then took off again, flying into the night with only the man and the flight crew. Topic: the escape. Function. Description. As the plane flew over a thick, dark forest, the man did the unthinkable. He lowered the stairs at the back of the jet, and with the money tied to him, he jumped out into the cold, rainy darkness. Topic: the aftermath. Function. Observation. When the plane landed a short time later, he was gone. All that he left behind was his black tie and 2 of the 4 parachutes he had been given. The investigation began immediately. Topic: the search begins. Function. Explanation. This event started one of the largest and longest searches in history. The FBI, police, and even soldiers combed through the vast wilderness where they believed he might have landed. Topic: a difficult search. Function. Observation. The search teams faced a huge challenge. The forest was dense, the weather was bad, and the search area was enormous. After weeks of looking, they found nothing. No man, no parachute, and no money. Topic: FBI investigation. Function. Description. While the search went on, investigators got to work on the few clues they had. They carefully examined the tie he left on the plane, hoping to find a single hair or piece of dust that could tell them who he was. Topic: creating a profile. Function. Explanation. Detectives spoke at length with the crew members who had seen him. They described him as calm and polite. Using their descriptions, an artist drew a sketch of the suspect's face. Topic: a nationwide alert. Function. Consequence. That drawing was sent across the country, appearing on television and in newspapers. The FBI hoped someone, somewhere, would recognize the man. Thousands of tips came in, but each one led to a dead end. Topic: a surprising discovery. Function. Description. Years passed, and the case grew cold. Then, in 1980, a young boy on a trip with his family was digging in the sand along the Columbia River. He uncovered 3 rotting bundles of cash. Topic: the found money. Function. Explanation. The boy's family knew this could be important and called the police. FBI agents took the money and began a careful examination. They checked the special serial number printed on each $20 bill. Topic: a critical link. Function. Observation. The numbers were a perfect match. It was some of the money given to Cooper before he jumped. After nearly a decade of silence, this was the first solid piece of evidence to be found. Topic: new search area. Function. Consequence. This discovery puzzled investigators. The money was found many miles away from the original search zone. This meant their first ideas about where he landed were likely wrong, and it opened up a whole new area to consider. Topic: analyzing the evidence. Function. Explanation. Scientists studied the damaged money. They determined from its condition that it had most likely been washed down the river, not buried there on purpose. This suggested the money bag may have broken open after landing. Topic: enduring questions. Function. Observation. But the discovery only answered one question while creating many more. If this was his money, where was the rest of it? And more importantly, where was he? Did he lose the money during the jump, or did he not survive at all? Topic: the suspect pool. Function, description. Over the next few decades, the FBI investigated more than 1,000 possible suspects. The case file grew with every new lead and every person who was suggested by the public. Topic: ruling out suspects. Function, explanation. For each potential suspect, investigators worked methodically. They compared what they knew about the person to the evidence from the plane. In every instance, they could not find a match. Topic: the case remains open. Function, consequence. Because no one ever fit all the known facts, the FBI was never able to name a primary suspect. The identity of the man who called himself Dan Cooper remained a complete mystery. Topic: modern forensics. Function, description. Long after the jump, new technology gave investigators a fresh look at the old evidence. A team of scientists used powerful microscopes to examine the clip-on tie one more time. Topic: tiny clues. Function, observation. They found tiny particles of rare metals on the fabric. These were not things you would find just anywhere. The clues pointed to the idea that the man may have worked as an engineer or at a company that built airplanes. Topic: a narrowed focus. Function, consequence. This information gave the investigation a new direction, suggesting a specific type of background for the mysterious man. But even this fascinating clue was not enough to lead to a name. Topic: the case's status. Function, explanation. In 2016, after 45 years of continuous work, the FBI announced it was no longer actively investigating the case. The resources would be used for other cases with more recent evidence. Topic: an unsolved puzzle. Function, observation. However, the file remains open. The mystery of D.B. Cooper is still the only unsolved skyjacking in the nation's history. It sits as a puzzle, waiting for a final piece. Topic: legacy of the case. Function, description. The story has become a modern legend, a tale of a carefully planned crime and a mystifying disappearance. It is a powerful example of how a person can vanish without a trace. Topic: the pursuit of justice. Function, explanation. The case is also a testament to the tireless work of law enforcement. For decades, generations of agents pursued every possible lead with intellectual rigor and a deep respect for the process. Topic: a lasting intrigue. Function, consequence. The search for D.B. Cooper is more than just a crime story. It's a chronicle of an enduring question. It reminds us that while the search for truth is the foundation of justice, some mysteries may be destined to remain unsolved.